Okay, 2.1 federal income tax. Income tax is something that will help you figure out your net income. We've done gross income. That is just you flat out getting paid hourly at a certain rate with the full amount of money given to you. Net income is going to be your gross income minus any of these deductions that come through with your paychecks. Some of you that have already had paychecks have figured out that for sure you are going to get taken out some money. And one of those things that for sure happens is the federal income tax. Federal taxes provide money for all federal government agencies and services. Law requires employers to withhold a certain amount of pay for federal income tax. So the IRS will provide employers with a table that shows how much money to withhold. The amount withheld depends on the income, the marital status, and the withholding allowances. You claim one allowance for yourself, and if you are married, one allowance for your spouse. You may claim additional allowances for any other support, people that you support, like kids or maybe elderly or someone that's disabled. Now, before I get going on federal income tax gets put into this account. That's not you actually paying your taxes. That's just your employer taking out money like a savings account so you have money to pay them at the end of the year. Allowances are good. Allowances are ways to deduct money from your pay. If you wanted to check out the actual tables that are like currently up to date, you could go to the federal website or the IRS. But this is the one we're going to go off of. You're going to first figure out your allowance amount. Each allowance is going to be able to subtract an additional $63.46. So that is something that's like set in stone. It's not it gets adjusted by percent or anything like that. You just flat out get to take that away. Having allowances actually helps you. It's going to lower your gross pay, and it's going to get what's called a taxable wage. Once you have your taxable wage, you're going to take that wage and you're going to put it into this table and find out where it fits. Okay. They might do allowances separately. I like to just take this number of allowances times $63.46, and I just put it right there. So here is the idea. The idea here is Carla has a job. Again, that table is the one that was just above. If you want to pause it or go back and kind of look at it a little bit more, we need to know how much she makes and how many allowances she claims. Because what that's going to help us get is our taxable income. It's her gross, which is $425.88 minus the allowances. And since there's two of them, we're going to take 2 times $63.46. So make sure you multiply first, and then you subtract, and then we will figure out what your taxable income is. And I believe it works out to be $298.96. That $296, that has to fit somewhere in one of these 3 rows. I believe it is going to be bigger than 195, but yet it's smaller than 645. So this is the rule that I'm going to follow. The tax withheld is going to be for sure the 1440 plus, and this gets a little bit tricky. We're not going to get 15% times the entire taxable income. It's only what's over 195. So I need to take that taxable income that's right there, put that in and go minus the 195. Okay, so I'm only going to get 15% of 103.96. And when you do the 15%, don't forget to convert that to a decimal. So that 15% turns into 0.15. You could take 15 divided by 100. So if I take 0.15 times the 103, I get $15 and about 59 cents. But don't forget about the $14.40 that you pay for sure. So your tax withheld is $229.99. And I'm going to point out that this is for federal weekly. So if you get paid weekly, they take about $30 out of your paycheck. If you got paid bi-weekly, you would just double that and you get take about 60. So they'll adjust that to whatever paychecks you actually get, but that's how they figure this out. What was the thing to say? You might have filled out a form called the W-4 when you first started your job. I don't know if they still use those or not, but you're basically telling your HR person, hey, this is how much I want to withheld. You want to tell them how many allowances you have so they can figure out how their taxes work. But hopefully that helps out. And if you got any more questions, please let me know.